We hear the Republicans talk about big, beautiful bill. I think this is a big, ugly bill. Let's call it what it is. It is the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich in U.S. history. This reconciliation package proposes devastating cuts to Medicaid and SNAP. My Republican colleagues will tell you that they are just going after waste, fraud, and abuse, but let's be clear. The only way to slash this much safety net spending is by making it harder for people to survive. Their changes will kick millions of Americans off their health care and nutrition assistance. That means more untreated illnesses, more hungry children, more preventable deaths. This isn't just line items in the budget. There are people's lives, the sacrifice of human dignity and of life itself. And for what? So that your billionaire friends can get nearly $300,000 in tax cuts? This is not a serious budget. This is a green light for authoritarianism, for inequality to run rampant. It is a police state budget wrapped in billionaire tax cuts.
Oh man, welcome back, everyone. Seriously, just listen to that. The sheer, unadulterated drama of it all. More untreated illnesses, more hungry children, more preventable deaths. It is the exact same tired, emotional blackmail script the radical left has been running for the last 30 years. Every single time taxpayers ask for basic fiscal sanity, they treat it like we're trying to cancel breathing. But here's the thing. They don't want you looking behind the curtain. They want you focused on the drama, so you don't look at the actual receipts. Well, in the clip we're about to watch, a rising conservative star, Congressman Brandon Gill from Texas, steps up to the mic. And let me tell you, he doesn't just push back. He completely dismantles her entire narrative with cold, hard facts. He brings the exact receipts they've been trying to hide. Before we dive into the full, glorious smackdown, do me a quick favor. If you're absolutely sick and tired of the establishment treating your hard-earned tax dollars like their personal playground, hit that subscribe button right now. Smash the like button, and make sure your notifications are turned on. Let's get this truth out to more people. All right, let's roll the full clip and see how it's done.
Mr. Gill from Texas is recognized for 6 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And first of all, thank you for all of your hard work. I'm thrilled about this piece of legislation as it's getting started. This reconciliation bill, I believe, will balance. It will extend the Trump tax cuts for the working class so that they don't experience the biggest tax increase in American history, and it'll grow the economy. But of course, it will also help us to implement the Trump agenda, which is to clean up the chaos and destruction that Joe Biden unleashed on our country over the past 4 years. It will help us fund the mass deportation of illegal aliens who have been murdering and raping and pillaging American citizens. It will help us unleash our fossil fuel energy sector, and it will allow us to rebuild our military. And of course, it will help us implement DOGE, which this amendment targets, among other things. As DOGE has been rolled out, I think it's been a bit curious because I found that so many of our colleagues on the other side of the aisle have not been upset about the waste, fraud, and abuse that this process has uncovered. Rather, they've been angry that the fraud has been exposed at all. We found that for decades, the administrative state has been weaponized against the American people. We can give example after example of flagrant abuses of American taxpayer dollars. We've heard of some of them earlier, but I'll name a few more. $1 million spent to boost French-speaking LGBTQ groups in West and Central Africa through the State Department. Almost $50,000 on a transgender opera in Colombia, also through the State Department. Over $7,000 for a BIPOC speaker series in Canada through the State Department. I think it's worth noting that normal, sane Americans don't know what BIPOC means, and neither do I. $80,000 for an LGBTQ community center in Slovakia, and over $16,000 for a united and equal queer feminist discourse in Albanian society, whatever that is. And of course, we also know that our taxpayer dollars have been going to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars every year to fund left-wing media outlets like NPR and PBS, paying for welfare for illegal aliens, and paying for giving out payments to international organizations that are censoring and pushing for the censorship of American citizens. Our own federal government is using taxpayer dollars to promote ideologies that tens of millions of Americans find utterly repulsive. I think if the other side of the aisle has such a deep ideological opposition to this DOGE process, I challenge them to be straightforward with the American people and explain why taxpayer dollars should be funding queer feminist discourse in Albanian society or drag shows in Ecuador. I don't think that they will, but I would love to see it if they did. Elon Musk acting as an employee and an agent of the president, I think, has certainly more democratic legitimacy than Anthony Fauci did, and he certainly has more democratic legitimacy than the nameless, faceless bureaucrats who have been running our lives for several years, the waste of which he is rooting out currently. President Trump here with DOGE is doing exactly what he was elected to do. DOGE is a part of the Trump mandate. It's extremely popular. In fact, Elon Musk and the DOGE movement right now are polling at a higher approval rating than Joe Biden had on his way out of the White House. President Trump, of course, is polling at record numbers.
I mean, wow. Absolute masterclass. Brandon Gill did not come play. Can we just talk about the contrast here? You've got the left trying to claim the moral high ground, acting like every single dollar of our multi-trillion-dollar budget is going toward feeding starving children. And then Brandon Gill stands up, opens the actual folder, and just starts reading the line items. $50,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $16,000 for queer feminist discourse in Albania, $80,000 for a community center in Slovakia. Are you kidding me right now? I want any sensible person to look a hard-working American family in the eye. Families who are currently watching their grocery bills skyrocket, struggling to put gas in their cars, wondering if they can even afford a modest vacation this year, and explain to them why their paycheck is being confiscated to fund theater projects in South America or gender studies in Eastern Europe. It is completely indefensible. And that is exactly why the establishment is absolutely terrified of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, and guys like Brandon Gill. For decades, these nameless, faceless bureaucrats in Washington have treated the federal treasury like a private slush fund for their favorite globalist pet projects. They get away with it because the budget is so massive and bloated that nobody can see where the money is actually going. But the second someone like Elon Musk or Brandon Gill turns on the lights, the cockroaches start scrambling. They aren't mad that the government is cutting vital resources. They are furious because the scam has been exposed. They hate the transparency. What I love about Gill's approach is that he didn't apologize and he didn't back down. He didn't let them control the narrative for a single second. He essentially issued a direct challenge. If you love these ridiculous programs so much, go ahead. Stand in front of the American truck driver, the plumber, the nurse, and explain why they should pay for it. And guess what? They can't, because there is no logical, America First explanation for it. This is the new guard of the conservative movement. Folks, no more playing defense. No more letting the left guilt trip us into silent submission. We want our money back. We want our borders secured. And we want our government focused on American citizens first. But hey, that's just my take on it. I want to hear from you guys. Are you as fired up about this as I am? Do you think the DOGE initiative is finally going to clean out the swamp, or is the administrative state going to fight back even harder? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get a real discussion going, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay sharp, stay vigilant, and keep fighting for the truth.